On this episode, I'm transforming my 2023 Toyota Tacoma from a daily driver into a formidable tiny home with its own kitchen, shower, and bed. I'll be getting my truck not only ready for comfortable living on the road, but also preparing for the Trans-America Trail, which is a 4,000-mile overland route across the United States. If you're new here, my name is Connor, and I sold everything so I could live my dream on the road full time out of my truck. With the truck all cleaned up, it's time to remove the rest of the seats out of the Tacoma. The passenger side is relatively easy. Simply remove the four 14mm bolts, then lift up and unplug the wiring harness underneath the seat, and you're all set. So you got two plugs here, the white and the gray. Those come out fairly easy. And you got this yellow one. It's got this kind of safety cap on it right here. So you gotta kind of pull that off, like that, and then you can undo it. Just like that. So a pro tip, you never want to lose the factory bolts in case you install the seats again. Always put them back where you found them. It's a good way so you don't lose them. So now we got a bunch of real estate. So next we're going to focus on the rear, which comes out super easy. So you can essentially just take our impact, Alright, so we got a lot more real estate in the back. You can see quite a bit more. So we're going to see how long of a bed platform we could fit with the back in place. And then we're going to remove the back, see how much more we can get. So we got 6 feet right here. If we look down the line. So I would say under 6 feet. A few inches under 6 feet. Practical when you remove the passenger seat and the bench right here, but you leave the backrest in. So we got to take this seatbelt restraint out, So nice thing, it's all 14 millimeter bolts. It's nice that Toyota, the engineers really made it all the same. It's really easy. If you have an impact, you can just use that. You might need a breaker bar. Usually these seat belt restraints are pretty tight. So if we look over here, we've got a bolt right here. You can kind of see that. There's one right there. And then I'm gonna get the other side and see what else. But we got one over here. So the bolt ended up being a 12 millimeter. You're gonna need an extension. I'm gonna try to squeeze in with the impact and go get it. So there's our bolt. You can kind of see it. So here's our contraption. And we're gonna see if we can get that guy on there. All right, I got it on there. So here goes nothing. There it is. So you got one more of those. You can see it right there, that black one. Oh, not too bad. Not super tight. There's our second bolt. Keep those two together. So now we got this side loose. And we got the other side to do. And it's gonna be hard to fit an impact in there. So I think we're gonna just get it with the old ratchet since these weren't too tight anyways. So, slight dilemma. So then the bolt we need to get to is behind this plastic. So we are gonna have to take this panel off really quick. Looks like 10 millimeter bolts. So we get the old 10 millimeter. So I figure we're just gonna take both panels off. So we're gonna go ahead and do this one too while we got the 10 mil out. So it looks like just kind of pull these off. They've got some clips in them. Just kind of gotta use a little force. This thing kind of just pops out. So we got that out. Fair warning, if you do this, you got these like red clips. Looks like I broke one of them trying to get this out. So you might have to get some replacements if you want to put this back in. All right, so here's where we're at. So the whole thing kind of has to come out in one piece, it looks like. I didn't Google or YouTube this before, so I'm just kind of winging it. But so I had to do the other side. So the whole thing's just gonna come out kind of as one big piece, and we'll try to set it down somewhere. You can kind of use these brackets as grab handles. So, all right, so we got everything out. So quite a bit of real estate. Maybe a shot from this end. Not too bad. There's a lot of room in here right now. So we're gonna kind of see what we can get on the tape measure. So realistically, I mean, we are well over 6 feet over here, which isn't too bad. I think we can really make a nice bed out of this. And now we'll check the width. So checking the width, we're at just under 2 feet. Going down here, so about foot 10.5 or so. As we keep going, the speaker, yeah, foot 10. So that's kind of the narrowest part there. So we can get to like a foot, about a foot 10. I think we're going to be at just a little bit less. So it's going to be, you know, right around a foot. I said 10, so right about here for width. So gives you an idea of the scale, which is pretty good. This isn't a full-size truck, so kind of just brainstorming. So we got this backrest. It's got this insulation piece. So I'm thinking we'll do a piece of plywood we can cut out just to kind of cover this, make it a little neater. So this is what we have going here. So we got the bed platform in. We had to trim a little bit more off the length, but there's another angle. And it fits pretty nicely. I think we're gonna do a couple minor cutouts where we've got the B-pillar there. It's a pretty tight fit, and the speaker there. We'll kind of touch that up with the Dremel. So all we're doing here is we're just gonna kind of trace around this B-pillar. So I want to give you a quick tour update of what I've done to the bed. Basically, just a simple bed platform that I made. Uses just some scrap wood to level it. We did our cutouts. These are just 2 Home Depot mattresses put together. It's kind of the bed. I've got a headboard put in here. So the headboard secures to the truck, to the cab through bolts using the existing threads. So I just kind of put that together, and then I attach the framing support from the bed to the headboard so this thing is secure. That's the bed in a nutshell. So moving on to the kitchen. The kitchen is super not fancy. It's no build. All you need is a truck bed with a canopy. That's all I did. So this is my cooler, my main cooler, where I keep most of my groceries and ice. And then I have a secondary cooler in the back. I keep extra ice. So that allows me to stay out much longer than just having one cooler. And a lot of people were gonna ask me, well, why don't you get a fridge? You know, why don't, you know, save a lot of money in ice? And I'd like to get a fridge someday, but the truth is I don't know which one I want quite yet, and I don't know how, I want to mount it. And I'm just doing this kind of a simple setup. I don't want to overcomplicate everything, because then I would probably have to get a better power station and figure that out, and some solar, and so I'm just kind of rolling with what I've got. So this is more of a, do it yourself in a weekend on a lower budget and still have some comfort. So power station is just a Yeti 1000. It's an older one, but it just plugs into the existing Tacoma outlet right here, and it just charges when I drive. So that's how I use it. Nothing fancy, but it works, meets my needs. This is a toiletry bag, so toothbrush, face wash, all that stuff I just keep in here. This is my stove right here. It's the Jetboil Genesis. I don't use the actual pots and pans. I like my own pots and pans. So in this guy, I've got really nice pots and pans. It's got a paper towel holder as well. That's super handy. Just be able to grab paper towels, pots and pans, utensils. It's all organized. And then, so that's that. And this stuff is all secure. So like nothing moves. Got this just using ratchet straps. Yeah, it's kind of crude, but this is camping. It's car camping. It's not supposed to be super fancy, right? If you wanted something fancy, you'd buy an RV, right? So that yellow bin there, I just keep like a bunch of toilet paper and paper towels and paper plates. All that stuff is just in that yellow bin. And then there's my shower. So again, it's a super simple shower system. Basically, it's just built on a pump. You just pressurize it by hand, and then you can spray. So that's how that works. It's very easy. You can fill it up from a creek or anywhere where there's running water, really. And it's about 2.5 gallons capacity, and I find I can get like 2 showers out of that. If you do, wash up, then stop, and then shampoo, and then rinse. You do that system, you can get about 2 showers out of it pretty comfortably. So back to my little kitchen here. I've got this just Dometic faucet, super easy, rechargeable, and then you just recharge it. I've got these kind of like military style water jerry cans, and I used these when I was on a hand crew. They're like half the size of a normal water container, so they're easier to store and are easier to carry. I just ended up liking them when I was on a hand crew, and they're just super handy for water storage. They're easy to clean because these things open up, so you can fit your hand in and scrub it, clean it real easy. So that's what I like about them. Rest of the stuff you kind of see in here is just like tools. I got a table in there, sleeping bag, extra sleeping bag. So, just basics, camping stuff. This setup it's not meant to be super fancy. It's just, I just took stuff I had and I just put it in the truck, organized it in a way that works for me. Moving on kind of to the driver's side of the truck, so this is my like saw bin. So anything I need for falling, bucking, I have here. Got an axe in the back, just a small axe, jerry can. This is just a small, like, nice camp saw that I use. I got wedges, bar oil, a little bit of, you can do WD-40 or PB Blaster is always super handy, and I've got a scrunch in there too. So that's my saw kit. You don't need a very big saw, but I like having a gas saw because I, have a pickup where I could actually kind of store gas and stuff. Before, I've always had SUVs and Jeeps. It's kind of hard to take a gas saw. So that's kind of a new addition I really like. So coming to the driver's side, this is like the entrance area. I did have to set the camera down to kind of, build this out because it just got to be too much. But basically, it's just trial and error how I built this. And then this is just an area rug I cut to kind of fit this area. It's plenty of room in here to do stuff, or put stuff, shoes and stuff in. So I love that about it. Under the rug, we still have access to this storage, which we'll take a look. This is all my recovery gear, straps, snatch block, jack. It's all really accessible. So if I get a flat or something, or I have to rescue someone or do any winching stuff, I can get to it easy. That's kind of the driver's side. First aid kit here, working on getting a better one, but that's what I have so far. Kind of moving on, this is driver's side. I always like lots of gloves, leather gloves especially, super valuable, just handy to have. So yeah, we got the Tacoma seat. It does have the power seats and the seat jackers, so it makes it super comfortable for longer trips. If you have a Tacoma and you don't have these, I highly recommend them. They definitely help the seat comfort a lot. And a fire extinguisher. I don't have a mount or anything, it just kind of sits here. You always want to have this accessible from the driver's seat. Fire extinguisher is super important. That's what I have going on for the driver's seat. And then, so my switches also are here. These are my ditch lights. And then my fog lights from the bumper are just in the factory location. They're wired in the factory. So that's all that stuff. But I think that covers most of what's in the driver's seat. So up in the front, KC ditch lights. I like them because they go out to the sides, help you see wildlife and stuff like that. And then C4 fabrication bumper. So that's the bumper on this thing, C4 fab. And then a come up winch, Factor 55 flat link. And then Baja Designs Ambers. That's the front of the truck. I think that about wraps it up. So what actually happened is I hit a deer on the front. And so I used the money to just go with a really nice C4. So it was one of the first things I ended up doing just because I hit a deer. That's why I went with the full width with the tube bar work to protect the radiator, because I travel a lot of deer areas, so I wanted that extra protection. But other than that, it's a pretty stock truck. I mean, suspension stock, just with a 3.2 leveling kit. I'd love to upgrade the suspension, maybe in like 100,000 miles when it's all worn out. I'll do like an upgrade and put a really nice suspension on it, but we'll see. So that's kind of a quick and dirty just overview of my truck that I'm going to be taking on the Trans-American Trail. Thanks for watching and following along. I will be starting in the next episode. We'll be starting the Trans-America Trail in Port Orford, Oregon. So until then, I will see you on the next one.